Namaskar. Today, let's talk about informed consent and specifically blanket warnings for your classes. The first thing we have to understand is that as yoga teachers, our objective is to consider student safety to be the #1 priority in class. Blanket warnings are a way to let students know, especially new students who you're not familiar with, know that there are a number of issues that they should be aware of before they engage in a class, especially a class that is on the physical end. So on physical end, we're referring to something like Ashtanga yoga or Hatha yoga, or one of the sub-styles off of Hatha yoga, which could be any number of styles. For example, Bikram, Iyengar, Kripalu, Sivananda. These are all variations of Hatha yoga. So when a student comes in, if they're going to practice anything physical, they might be pregnant, or they might have high blood pressure, they might have any number of issues which is going to affect how they are taught in a safe manner. So some of the things to consider, if you live in a place where liability is not an issue, you have nothing to worry about. Liability is not an issue, you don't have to worry about insurance, you don't have to worry about money. I can appreciate that, that's fine. If you live in an area that is very liability conscious, then you have to protect yourself as a teacher. You have to get insurance, some kind of liability insurance. You have to have informed consent forms. You have to have an application form. You have to also let people know that you're concerned about their health and you want to know something about them. For example, if somebody comes into my class and they had a stroke last week or a couple of weeks before that, I'd really like to know. And the same goes for a student who is pregnant and a student who has high blood pressure. One of the things I want to explain too is that there are a number of teachers out there who take people in after the class has started. Say the class starts at 6 o'clock. They're still admitting people into class at 6:15. And some of these people are new students. There's no way you want to do that. How could you know if a student is pregnant or not 15 minutes late into the class? They never filled out a form, they never talked to you. You're just going in cold and you're taking a shot that you might know something about their health just by appearance. Can't tell if somebody has any number of issues. Also, generally speaking, I know in the United States we have a Privacy Act, so you cannot just ask somebody in the middle of a class, "So, do you have high blood pressure?" You can't ask that question. That puts you in kind of a bind, but there is a number of ways we can say something to make the class safe, and that is, if anyone has high blood pressure, any posture where the head goes below the heart should be considered an inversion and could possibly put you at risk. This goes the same for heart conditions. If anybody's pregnant in this class, they should not be here. They should be in a prenatal yoga class. See, if you don't say these things, what's happening is you're not protecting the people who come into your classes. And I know that we want to take in as many students as we can, but on the other hand, we don't want to put them at risk. There's a big debate over whether somebody is safe if they have high blood pressure in a class doing inversions, and does the doctor, for example, their doctor, their family physician, has he or she put them on any kind of a prescription? And if so, are they safe to practice postures like, for example, shoulder stand or headstand? My feeling is you want to make sure that that's 100% okay with their doctor. So I might request a physician's note. That is a good way so that the doctor has already said, this is okay. On the other hand, it's one of those things to understand that we as yoga teachers don't make the calls on the medical decisions of our students. That's something that they should make and that their physicians together can make. It's not our call. The main thing to do is to run the class as safely as possible. Generally speaking, I usually advise against, even if somebody's medicated, against deep inversions. So shoulder stand and headstand, handstand would probably be out, even if a person is medicated. Beyond that, any of the other variations of inversions, downward dog or legs up the wall pose, those might be something where, okay, we can work with something like this, but not without a physician's approval. So that's something to consider when you're working with people and they have different conditions. I would not take it upon your shoulders to make any kind of decisions that regard their health without them getting a professional opinion from their own family physician first or the medical specialist. With all these things in mind, I want to wish you a very nice week and all the best to you and yours. Om Shanti.